Yo, yo, my sovereigns, what up? This is Boba Fett, uncensored on the internet. Well, apart from DTube, who started censoring my Splinterlands videos. Thanks, Nanau. And joining me, this is episode 12 today. Joining me back on the show, the greatest gentleman who ever lived, Matt Clark. And my fellow criminal inmate here in Gulag, Australia, Geotrix.
Howdy.
Howdy. What's up? What's been happening?
Bit excited about the town hall.
Yes. Tell us about the town hall.
There was a lot went on in that 2 hours. Every 5 minutes or so, there'd be another exciting, I guess, more clarification on future directions. So Yabba's been basically a genius for as long as I've known him, and I don't use that word lightly. He's just, I just want to gnaw on his skull to get it to, delicious brain in that man. Yeah, he really is. So what he's been doing now that he's not, putting out spot fires constantly because he's got other people to do that, he's been looking at the entire marketplace, DeFi gaming, everything that's going on cutting edge right now, and stealing everything that's good that other people are doing. And so various bits and pieces that I've thought, that would be, maybe one day down the track, again, he comes up with a better solution than I ever would have. So mad props to Yabba. But the things that really jumped out for me were to hamper botting and making it less productive. Ranked rewards are getting a big revisit, and for the most part, they'll be going up. They'll be increasing. But part of the reason they'll be able to increase it is that they're looking at reducing bot rewards by scaling back your rewards based on how many phantom cards you used in your team. So if a lot of these bot armies just use the phantom cards.
Really?
Or, maybe one epic. But, you've paid $10 for the summoner's spellbook, and then you just have your bots just play with the phantom cards, and then you've only got the $10 expenditure. You usually make that back in 7 or 8 weeks, and then from then on it's gravy, right? It's cream. You just got to pay your server costs and any resource credit stuff that you need to worry about. But they've now with the changes that are coming, it will be a case of, okay, if you played 6 phantom cards and a phantom summoner, then you won the match. Well done, congratulations. No money for you, no deck, no SPS, nothing. But if you've played an epic in the team, and mostly phantoms, but an epic, or rares, cards that you actually own, then you'll increase. You'll see your rewards increase. So relative to what's going on now, it looks like a really nice way of saying, if you're a genuine player, you're starting off with just the phantom cards. You're going to need to either rent some cards off the market, or buy some cards, or win reward cards in chests, but that you actually own. And then as you start building momentum, then you're going to start getting more impressive dark energy crystal rewards for actual ranked gameplay. And so that was the first of many that jumped out for me. The next was you're saying it's quite disappointing and disillusioning for new players to they'll struggle with the daily quest for an hour, and then they finally get it and they win one chest. It might have something great in it, but there's not that real dopamine rush, and you tap it and it's a gold potion, it's an alchemy potion, and you're like, so what they're looking to do with the rewards is revamp it so that as you go up through the leagues, you don't change number of chests that you get. It might end up being 10 chests for everyone, but the quality of the chests change. So at the moment you might have you be in gold, and you go, okay, look, if I can win up to diamond, I'll gold 1 to diamond 3. I might stand to get, I don't know what it is, but 4 or 5 more chests, something like that, if I make it up. But I think that's kind of tempting, that you'll maybe sit there for an extra hour and go, I'm going to try and push on to diamond. But if instead you're going to go, instead of getting 10 gold chests, I'm going to get 10 diamond chests, I think that's more incentive, right? Because it's the same number of chests, but all of them will be of the better quality if you push on. Whereas at the moment, you sort of go, do I push on? Is it really worth it for another few chests? I'm getting most of them anyway. So I really feel like, from a psychological perspective, that's going to make a big difference. But it'll have people pushing harder, and also those newcomers, they still have a chance of getting something great. But because they're in bronze, silver, they're going to find that they're getting more shots at the, more cracks at it, but they have a lower chance of getting something really, earth-shattering. Whereas in Champion, you're still only getting the same 10 chests as the guy in Bronze, but they're not the same chests. They've got better stuff in them. So that was earth-shattering. That was great. And I don't know when SPS rewards for battle are going to come out, because there'll be dark energy crystals and SPS rewarded for battle based on all sorts of metrics, as well as how much SPS is staked to you personally. So there's a lot going on there. And I don't know when SPS for ranked battles is going to be coming out, but another great point that that Yabba made was they brought on they had a lot of guests, names and voices that I didn't recognise that have come on recently. But something Yabba mentioned, and they interviewed a fellow who's been with us for a month or so. He's been looking at the non-card market, which is everything that you would currently move into and out of tribal decks or Hive Engine, land plots, titles, orbs, alpha packs, untamed, all of those things that you'd move to Hive Engine, buy and sell there, and then move back into Splinterlands. That will all be taken care of on the actual Splinterlands site.
Awesome.
And that's closer than we thought. So he said that's basically, it's a week away from internal testing, which means that, if everything goes right, we could only be a couple of weeks away from actually buying and selling all of those things, including things that don't even have a market at the moment on tribal decks, like titles, the Untamed, the Legionnaire. Those titles will be available on the actual site, which means less mucking around with tribal decks, Hive Engine. You can buy them with credits instead of buying, I'm assuming you'll be able to buy them with credits instead of having to buy them with, at the moment you need swap.hive, you say, to buy any of these things. So you need to sell something that you have or have swap.hive, whereas if you're in the actual internal marketplace, you can just buy directly with dark energy crystals or I'm assuming that's how it's going to work, or credits, exactly. Instead of saying, right, I'm going to take these dark energy crystals, I'm going to trade them for swap.hive, and then I'm going to trade that swap.hive for a plot, and then I'm going to try and in advance work out how many deck I need to move across to get that plot, which is, there's so much math there, right?
Yeah.
Whereas once the non-card market is live on the site, then it would just be a case of, okay, here's a plot. Oh, it's going for, 120,000 dark energy crystals. Okay, I've got that. Yes, I'm going to jump on that and buy it and click. So that was huge. There was also talk of validator nodes, which I'm not sure if that's sort of outside the scope of the entry level talk, but it's on the, I guess, from a surface view, it's about spreading out the authority, the multi-sig wallets for the game, so that there's so it's decentralized. So it's decentralizing the game, cutting out the main devs as a single source of failure, saying, right, a lot of this stuff's going to get decentralized. That's been coming for a while with SPS rewards for validators who are voted in like Hive Witnesses. Matt said today what they're going to be doing, and I can't remember which project he stole this from, but I love it. It's also going to be doing, there'll be that, and there will also be licenses. So you will buy a license to earn SPS from running a validator node, right? You'll just buy a license, just like a miner, right? Like a miner that you'd buy on Hive Engine tribal decks, and there'll be 1,000 at $1,000 worth of SPS. Just picking figures out of the air. Like I don't know what they'll be, how many there'll be or what they'll be worth, but for example, there'll be 1,000 for $1,000 worth of SPS, and then there'll be 1,000 for $1,200 worth of SPS, and then there'll be 1,000 for $1,400 worth of SPS. And so early birds will swoop in, and they'll no doubt pick up all these, and that's a lot of money, right? 1,000 of these validators times $1,000 each is that $1 million. But then, of course, there are running validator nodes. The more people are running the nodes, the more people share the SPS rewards, right? So that's obviously as they get thinned out. But those licenses will be sold for SPS, which will be burnt, which will then elevate the price of the SPS. You see, and so then the validators get more SPS for running the nodes, which of course they're going to want to do if they've got a license. The licenses themselves will be NFTs that you can buy and sell from each other, no doubt even on the Splinterlands marketplace. So you can just jump in and buy a validator node secondhand from somebody else, the license to run a validator node, not the actual node itself. Sorry, not the license to run it. Anyone can run it, but the license to get paid for running it. So That's exciting on all sorts of levels, because it means instead of 20 or 30 people around the world all running the software to be one of the multi-sig wallets that approves all the transactions that are going on in Splinterlands, instead of that, it will be 1,000 or 10,000 people all around the world running the same software, their computers collaborating with each other and reinforcing the network, the decentralization of it all, which is wonderful and lovely. And it means that a whole lot of those real crypto nerds, and if I'm calling you a crypto nerd, you're a crypto nerd, those real crypto nerds who look at the project and go, it's a little bit decentralized, they go, I actually know there's 4,000 nodes up and running all the multi-sig hardware and actually doing the validation. Those people then get interested in this project, right? I mean, you don't know which Ethereum whale goes, okay, now I'm interested, I'm going to buy a region off the market, and then that pushes up the price of everything, and away we go. So that validator node piece was fantastic to my mind, that it won't just be a cutthroat popularity contest for a few limited slots. It will actually be get in quick, buy them while they're cheap, and then it might even be cheaper in SPS terms to buy down the track when they're $1,400 worth of SPS, because if SPS is worth $1, then that's less SPS you're spending, which then gets burned in order to buy that validator license, in order to then earn, I don't know whether it's annually or in perpetuity, or that wasn't clear, but yeah, so lots of exciting stuff in the town hall, and just sort of, put the tongue back in, and the jaw back in. It was incredible. It was great. I loved it. I want to watch it again.
All right. So when Matt's excited, we all get excited.
Well, that's funny, because that's exactly what Yabba said. When I'm excited, as in himself, Matt, then because he said he's normally the dour, worst case scenario Eeyore of the tribe, he said this is good. He's excited about the future of it all. So yeah, again, not a great deal to talk about land, but more vision. And he also said that essentially the game's been running on what he cobbled together to make it happen early on, and the software update that is bringing us the non-card market will also be the same software update that's important for land to roll out on top of. So it's all part of the same project, but we just do the land, they also talk about modern and wild and the break there. But great town hall. Give it a listen if you've got a spare 2 hours. That's my very quick rundown rendition of the key points that jumped out at me. But yeah, great fun, good time.
Yeah, I find with town hall, because it's not something that requires you to be sitting there watching visually. It's something I usually do when I'm doing something else. I could just listen to it like an audio podcast. I just haven't had the chance to do that. So looking forward to getting onto that. One point you brought up with especially in-game currencies and so forth. And yeah, we were talking about this the other day. I still get confused as to the purpose of credits. I mean, it's great if you just want to get some money from PayPal into the game without having to do KYC on an exchange if you don't already have crypto. Obviously, if you've already got crypto, there's much easier ways to put money into the game. But I was thinking because when you buy cards, you can buy cards with credits or DEC. And I've got my Shinlo in the market, and I'm thinking, what if someone bought my Shinlo with credits? Like, what would I do with those credits?
No, so you don't get credits, you get dark energy crystals.
So even if they pay with credits, I'll receive dark energy crystals.
They pay Splinterlands, and Splinterlands gives you dark energy crystals for them.
Awesome, yeah. Awesome. Okay.
So the point of credits is so that we are a video game that's selling in-game items, just like Hearthstone or whatever, selling card packs. So you buy in with your credit card, PayPal, and you get in-game credits, right, which can then be bought on, And so that's effectively saying, we're not an exchange, we're not a crypto exchange. No, don't. We don't want to fall under that category. We're a video game. And so that's what the credits are all about. So that's why they're not transferable. You just buy them and stack them, and then you spend them on whatever you like in the game. If you then, and that's why there's a blanket ban on buying your own cards with anything, right? But particularly with credits, because that would be a way to use Splinterlands as an exchange, because you'd come in with $1,000 worth of PayPal, you sell your cards to yourself, and you get dark energy crystals paid to you by the game, and then you've just got fiat into crypto without any sort of oversight or whatever else. So from a regulatory perspective, they've got to say, no, you buy credits from us, and then you use that to spend in the game and on buying assets in the game, which, hey, look, if down the track you decide you want to sell them to somebody for whatever, then that's fine. That's between you and them. But it's not something that you yourself can bounce off of us and turn money into crypto, because that would make us an exchange. So hence that. And so there's software running to make sure that they identify whose alts are what, because they need to make sure. And if you come in and you start buying your own cards, then they'll cut off your ability to buy credits. You won't be able to buy credits anymore. You'll be able to still do the crypto side of things, but they'll say, no, we're cancelling your PayPal, your credit card, whatever else you can't.
You've been flagged.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and Splinterlands is just doing that so that they won't. Obviously, it's not that they want to,
So they don't get flagged in turn.
Exactly, and that would.
They don't want the regulation bullshit.
No.
Yeah, and that's what they got to do. So the credits are like a lot of things. Like if you picked it apart without any sort of regulation, the game would look quite a lot different than what it does. But so much of it is built around whatever's necessary to, it's almost like the regulations are a scaffold, and we've kind of got to grow around that,
And to sell your cards, you'll do the player-to-player transactions between between each other.
That's right, exactly. That's entirely your business. But the game is just selling.
That's under the table.
That's not up to them. That's not what
we know nothing.
No, the Splinterlands business is it's a video game and it's selling assets. Right? That's the whole point. What you do with them is up to you.
Yeah.
On the user end of things, yeah.
As I mentioned briefly at the beginning too, one of DTube's devs, Nanel, has started like smashing my Splinterlands podcast into oblivion. I only noticed last week when I went to upload the episode, I saw the previous one had been smashed. And when I uploaded the last episode, it was smashed the moment it published. So he's got me on auto smash. But this podcast has been getting DTube upvotes, and even some of the node leaders in DTube have been upvoting my podcasts, and then Nanel just comes along, just smashes them down to like 0. So I'll probably stop posting. There's no point in, because I actually, to upload to DTube, I have to do a new video in Handbrake to 480p, because DTube only accept 480p. So I'm doing extra work till I upload to DTube. So I'm probably just going to be uploading only to 3Speak and to Odyssey from now on.
And that's the problem with centralization.
Well, he's just a dev. But I mean, DTube, I think, is pretty much 2 people. Hyman Danger, who I reckon is an awesome guy. I've had conversations with him. And his vision from the very beginning days when I was first vlogging DTube, encouraged me so much. But I don't know what this Nanel's problem is, but yeah.
It always takes one bad actor to ruin it, especially if they have that power, they will use it against.
Yeah, because he's obviously well stacked in DTC, which is DTube's coin. And he's just smashing my videos. So you go to my account on DTube and they're all blurred out. He's just smashed them down to like nothing.
I wonder if he's opposed to cross-posting, maybe, if you're on 3Speak and DTube, and he's like, well, you should pick one or the other, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I don't downvote somebody without leaving a comment. I rarely do it anyway, but I'd be leaving a comment saying, this is why I downvoted you. Otherwise, it's just guesswork, right?
Yeah. But I mean, like a lot of people post on YouTube as well, just for the permanency of it. Or sometimes even the simplicity for sharing. And even that
sounds like an attack to me.
Yeah, had a comment once. Some guy says, "Hey, can you put these videos on YouTube so that I can use them in the future as for reference?" And so I have actually created a new YouTube. My original YouTube channel just disappeared. So I've got a new YouTube channel, which is just Boba Fett. Doesn't have anything on it at the moment. So I might start uploading the old videos to there, so people can share links and stuff like that. But yeah, I just don't have DTube anymore. I'll just leave them for now, I think.
I love Geo's style. Sounds like a fight. Sounds like he wants a fight. Picture him just hammering nails into a baseball bat. Come on, bring it on. It's an attack to me. Love it.
Yeah. I don't know what the deal is. But who cares? I don't have energy to waste on people like that, especially when it's platforms like 3Speak that work just fine.
Exactly.
In fact, it's a lot easier. It's uploading a video to 3Speak is so much easier than uploading to DTube. It is so much easier. So I think, yeah, I'll just stick with the 3Speak uploads from now on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see what works.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's a free speak endorsement.
Yeah. Well, I will endorse. I reckon they're great. I've
Yeah,
had
hell yeah.
no problem. I mean, I was with DTube for 3 years, pretty much, before I even opened an account with 3Speak. And the reason I went to 3Speak initially was because of censorship on my alternative sort of posts on DTube. And I got moved to 3Speak because I had to. And I was like, oh, wow, this is so much better. Even watching them, they're easier to watch on 3Speak as well. So,
Well, sites like that always push you towards something better because they're shit.
yeah, life's like that too, isn't it? Life just, if your intention is correct, you'll, regardless of how dodgy that trail looks, eventually it's going to take you to where you wanted to go, and you usually discover a few other things along the way as well. So life is a journey. Life is a journey.
Yeah.
Especially now with all this great unveiling. I love it. I absolutely love it. There's never a boring moment. There is, like, life right now with all this bullshit that's going on. I've got to say, life has never been more interesting. And the mystery is back in, like the reason most people are brain dead and they're just, as I say, what's a rut? A rut is just a grave with both ends dug out. And the reason they're in that is because they've just so absorbed in the narrative. There's an answer for everything. Well, where's the mystery in life? Right? Life is a mystery. It's like, who doesn't love a good mystery novel? And we're living in one. And it's getting towards the end of the book. It's getting really exciting now. It's getting hard to put down. So that's how I'm seeing life at the moment.
And when you take away the unknown, it just becomes the mundane.
Yeah.
That's,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I hear you.
So should we share some videos from the week?
I've got Gio's one queued up here. I'm just looking at it and trying to work out how I think it's all going to go.
Yeah, I watched your one. I just want to.
Let's start with Matt's then, because I'm sure the viewers are. I want to see Matt's. I want to see Matt's. And Gio's battling. He's scaring people now. I saw some comments in our Splinterlands chat the other day. It's like, oh, I saw it was Gio. I was like, oh no, I'm fooked.
He beat me. He beat me.
Well, I got 2 guilds in 2-star tiers. So when the drop bears get up to tier 2, arena 2, and move up to tier 2, then I'll be quaking in my boots, worried about meeting Gio on the battlefield.
There will come a time.
There will come a time.
There will come a time.
All right, so let's go to which one comes up first. Go.
I believe I sent it first.
Yes, you did, but I just skipped you and went straight to Matt.
I would too. I would too.
Right, so let's switch to, or jump across to Matt's battle and find out. Well, we'll have a discussion on how that went. Right, so what are we looking at here, Matt?
Stick with this lineup. So this was I wasn't doing a quest. I was just trying to climb. This one was interesting because it's a Enrage. Everyone has Enrage. I can't think what the name of it is, but Furious Everybody. And so my thinking was, and I will do this from time to time, my thinking was they're going to put somebody up the front who's going to benefit from speeding up, and there'll be a melee because they are melees get the most benefit out of Enrage. So not many people maybe have noticed this, but getting enraged will increase your health and your speed, but if you're melee, it will also increase the melee damage that you do. So my thinking here was, right, what I want is somebody up the front who's not going to antagonize their front guard, right? Just a pacifist. They're up the front, who, when he gets injured, he's going to speed up quite a lot. I've noticed this Pellicor Conjurer wrecked me a lot, so I was happily able to max mine in gold. and threw him up the front there just as a way to absorb a bit of damage.
Especially with Thorns in their front position as well.
Exactly. That worked out nicely, because otherwise he would have just hurt himself there.
Yeah.
And also, you notice he has two reasonably not too fast ranged up the back. So the reason I wanted to share this battle was there's a couple of things. First off, I figured they would probably sneak as well. So I used my knight as a damage sponge up the back. So he doesn't attack at all, but the main reason I pulled him in was Inspire.
Inspire,
so he's adding 1+1 melee to my guys. Now, had I used any fewer sneak cards, I don't think I would have got through their big nasty eye bastard who always beats me, whatever it is, Cornelius, right? I don't think I would have got through him because he has a lot of health and he heals, right? And so, and of course he's going to get speed up and he's going to get more health as I'm attacking him. But I would rather hit their back row, because then I'm enraging cards that are magic or ranged and aren't getting the extra damage buff from being enraged, right? And I figure if I work my way from forward to back by doing lots of sneak, I'm going to be able to hopefully take them. And so my strategy worked out perfectly based on what he ended up playing, because you see most of his damage is there in the last two cards. He was basically relying on the idea that I might do what he'd done, which is play a couple of sneak cards, right? So he's played a couple of sneak cards, and both of his are, actually I don't know if his Silent Charvet, does he normally have poison? No, I'm thinking of Uraeus. I'm thinking of the other new snake as poison. So he's got two sneak cards, but that's, and he's no doubt expecting the same of me, that I would have a couple of sneak cards along with my main strategy. But what I've said a couple of times is it's better to focus your firepower, right? Because you would rather have half of his cards completely dead than all of his cards half dead, right? Because they're still doing so much damage. Particularly, that's even more so in Enrage, right? When everybody has Enrage, you really want to focus your firepower and kill them one at a time, because otherwise you piss them all off and they all do a whole lot of damage and they all dodge and they all, right? So that's pretty much what happened here. But even though I had what turned out to be the winning strategy here, I still only barely made it. So did you want to?
Yeah, that's right.
Bob, and
Absolutely.
So the idea was I needed to hit him hard and fast with that extra, with the extra damage from that Inspire, right? Because see them straight away, he's healed. Now he's faster and he still has 11 health. I've hit him once. Now I'm starting to hit him more. Happily, I got some poison in nice and quick. I don't think it ended up making a difference, because that double strike from that assassin's just insane. Now, probably 2/3 of his firepower's gone. And I still haven't ticked off his front guy by enraging him. So far, I've only I've done no damage to myself by enraging them.
Speed plays like a huge part in this too, doesn't it?
It does. It does. And you can see my Pellicor Conjurer now is 6 speed to his Windeku is 3. So his Windeko's got a very little chance of hitting me between, see, there is missed, between the fact I've got flying and the speed differential. But even then, Windeku is tough, right? So I'm still got to hit him. He's healing himself and he has thorns. Stop it. Sorry, that's the dog.
That timed in so just as your feral spirit died. It was like, ah!
Yeah. My dog's a flighty little jerk. He hears any noise and he goes running and barking and waking up the whole house. So I wanted to basically say, you know, we've all seen multi-sneak teams before, but I think when you look at the implications of the rule set, I will, if I see everybody has Enrage, I will try and do, you know, my whole back row with snipers or my whole back row with sneaks. If I do want to target, and that would have worked even better with something like Kitty, right? Byzantine Kitty, because he's all about healing the front tank. And again, you hollow him out from the back end. But the fact that Enrage will only increase their melee damage means that you really want to focus your firepower. And if you can, you want to focus your firepower on their non-melee cards first. So that was the take home there. But again, look, even with the right strategy, I only just beat this guy. And a couple of his cards aren't even full leveled. So again, I'm not going to sit here and say, look how wonderful I am, because this is in Diamond and he's
You're
playing
a bully, Matt.
level 2,
You're a bully.
level 2 Cornelius. So Shocho, if you see this, you nearly beat me with cards that were less than mine, despite the fact that this is the one I chose to say what a great strategist I am. So
Yeah.
hats off. No, there's no shame in that one.
How much life then? If like 12 lives for level 2, you said. What does that go up at all with higher levels?
Yeah, I'm not sure if
Have you
anybody's got strengthen on their team. No, I don't think anyone has strengthen. I don't have Cornelius, so I don't really know him well.
Because that's like 12 for such a low level card. That's, that would scare a lot of people if they saw that lining up against him.
Yeah, that is. And I mean, he's legendary, so he's only got a couple more levels to go to get to level 4. So he might end up at like 14 life or something along those lines. Gets 1 more damage and 1 more speed or something, and then he maxes out around there. But yeah, so when I saw the lineup, I was really glad, and then even then, I still only just beat him. So yeah, that's my battle that I'm sharing, and I hope anybody watching gets some benefit out of it. I mean, obviously, if you're in bronze or silver, probably less so, but that's the I guess some of the thinking that you want to start employing.
Yeah, and don't forget too, guys, if you send your battle links to us in the comments section. Well, we will play, watch, and discuss your battles. All right, so Gio, you've got a battle you want to share with us as well. All
Yeah,
right,
I do.
So, all right, let's look at that one.
Yeah, so during this match, I have slow for both me and my opponent, no shields, and I was just torn between what Splinter to use, because I don't have so many really to use. They're all from the latest packs, and so yeah, I thought, why not try something a bit funky? So here you got Disintegrator. So
Hey,
I
when did you
thought,
get sorry to interrupt, when did you get a Samurai?
I pulled one from an Untamed pack that I bought a while back. I didn't buy many of those because I stopped playing the game. And then when I came back in and bought a few more packs, well, everything sold. Isn't that great? Yeah, so I was like, yep, let's put the Disintegrator up front. Let's put the Uriel in the back because I don't have many sneak monsters cards that so I can't really do what Matt does. It just like swarms the back row with sneak, which it does beat me a lot of the time. It's more effective than actually having things like a monster with thorns in the back with heal. It really is. It really can. It really, levels the opponent. I'm always on the receiving end of that. And yeah, so here we have Jin Renova. She's got triage, she has strength. So I thought about this. I was like, okay, so we got slow, no shields. I need to up at least my health, and because I chose Sloan as, he +1 on range, I was like, okay, let's get some heavy hitters or things that hit repetitively, like the Arbalist, like Prismologist.
Double strike.
And yeah.
Well, the Prismologist with Blast too, she's effectively doing, she's getting double benefit from the +1 to ranged because she's blasting it as well. So yeah, good call.
Yeah.
And that's quite a scary lineup you've got against you there too.
It is.
Like, Grum right up front, Dr. Blight. And their Sandworms are a level higher than your a couple of levels higher because they've got higher hit and higher health. So that would scare me if I saw that lineup.
And think about this: if I put Uriel in the front, there you have Jin. I forgot his name. You have Jin Inferni with Giant Killer, right? That would have been disastrous.
Yeah.
So, and I thought about that. With the cap at 52, well, maybe someone does have Giant Killer, and yeah, I called that one right.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so yeah,
let's have a look, eh?
Yeah, let's
talk us through as we go.
Yeah, well, slow, so Grum attacks first, and Blight. Oh no, Sandworm. Yeah, poison, of course. Always gets me poison. Yeah, 3 damage on the blast. Huh? It's nice. You got healed by Uriel. Arbalest attacks twice.
Got rid of Grum so quick.
Yeah, but hey, he got rid of me too. Like, look at this. Oh, heavy hits. All right. Renova gone. No back heal, although I didn't need it with Uriel. And pretty much now I'm like hoping my range don't come into the forefront because I want them to keep attacking and not stop. But of course Cornelius, he can be a bit hard. Yeah, there you go. First one down. That's just a sitting duck. But hey, still have Prismologist. Return Fire as well, right? Return Fire is also pretty deadly. But yeah, Uriel just unscathed from all of this until now and yeah.
2 legendaries battle it out at the end.
Yeah.
And a beautiful way to finish too, with 12 damage in a single hit,
Yeah.
which is, what you needed. The amount of times I've thought, oh, it's only Dr. Blight at the end and I've still got 4 or 5 cards. But then you realize that, oh, it's Dr. Blight, but he's got, 20 life because he's been sitting there scavenging every time somebody else dies, So yeah, he can be really brutal, and he just chips away. Something I noticed that from that is their Phoenix, the Elemental Phoenix, is an interesting choice to play in a reverse speed battle. Like that's I'm not going to say it was a mistake because obviously it did some damage, and you weren't expecting it. Took out like 2 of your cards when it did fire, but it fired quite late, almost too late to have an impact on the outcome of the match.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's the quickest. It was the quickest card, right after Jin Inferni. So those 2 were attacking last. However, he does have 2. He's got Grum. He's 1 speed. He's got Blight, which is 1 speed. I only have 1 speed, which is Sandworm, and he's not leveled up at all. I never actually had that chance, that opportunity to. But hey, I thought I'd sneak him in, and it was more for a filler actually, because he's just strong, and
Hits
because
hard.
it's on slow. Usually, when the slow is around, right? Like the 1 speed monsters are more evasive than obviously the opposite than the high speed ones. So even with like Blight at the end there with Uriel, like if I had missed, maybe it would have been in for a couple more games and it could have wiped me out. You never know. Never know.
Yeah.
But I felt like 3 speed for slow is pretty good. 3 speed seems to be where you don't want to, where you would like to be at if you didn't have to go any higher for the speed side of things. So I like using, obviously 1's preferable, but between 1 and 3 speed.
I find myself wondering if you still would have beat him if you had a level 6 Sandworm, because it has 3 speed. So went later than your 1 speed Sandworm.
Hey.
And that's an interesting, like I've deliberately not got my Cyclops up to level 8. I kept it at level 6 because it keeps him at 1 speed. At level 7 he gets to 2 speed, and then he's not first to act in reverse speed. Why would I want that? So it's an interesting take home that it's almost worth it keeping sometimes the lower level card because of things like that.
Wonder if it's possible with cards, because when your card lineups, especially now I've got some cards I'm leveling up, and I've taken like what Gio's trick, like once it gets to a full level, like for example level 6, and then I'm 0 of whatever for level 7, I stop there. I don't want a tiny little bit of bar on my card, so I stack the other cards. But when you go into battle, you can only choose your best card out of that stack. If you could choose, like for example, if you got 2 Sandworms, 1 leveled and 1 not leveled, if you could choose a low level, how would that work with the game mechanics? That would add another level, wouldn't it?
A few people have asked for that over the years, and I know at one point it was actually possible for a bot to deliberately choose a lower level gold foil version of a card and not use the higher level regular foil. I don't know if that's still possible, but I know that was an exploit that I believe they were trying to shut down, because obviously then it's a disadvantage, right?
Yeah.
You're entering on the screen and the keyboard, and you can't pick your gold foil lower level card that would be better in that particular situation, and a bot can pick that. Then obviously that's not cool. But I'm not across what happened with that, whether that got resolved or whether bots can't do that anymore, or whether the game defaults to you have to have your, use your highest level card. I've even heard of people with multiple cards who will see the rule set, decide which card they want, and they will quickly delegate their high level card out to a different account and then refresh the screen and go back in, and now they've only got the lower level one available. So
Yeah, that's a lot of time off the clock though, isn't it?
it is, but if you're one of these, autistic super soldier, guys that just human calculator type, that some of it's just nuts. I'll pick my team and then I'll bam, and they've got this. Yeah, so there's some real excellent players out there. If you're one of them, then for them it's just a few more clicks, and that's all just part of the game. But this is part of the game being so young and fresh and new, right? So there will be, I think, at some point the ability to play. I think what would be the fairest thing is to say, this is the max level at which you can play this card. But if you want to, you can, when you click him, you can use your scroll wheel and scroll down and up through the different levels until you find him at exactly the level you want to play him at, with the one that you have him being your maximum, and then click and lock it in, right? So then it's not about which version of the card am I picking. If I got a common at level 10, that's permission to play him at 1, 2, 3, all the way up to level 10, whatever I see fit in that particular rule.
Yeah.
That particular match.
That would be dope. That would be dope.
Yep. That is awesome, because with because you might not want an ability on a certain game, and at that level he doesn't have that ability that you don't want in that matchup.
Entirely true.
So I think that adds way more dynamic.
Yep.
That's fucking genius.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Retaliate is a big one that I sometimes think, I like this card for its other features, but if it retaliates, I reckon they're going to play Thorns, they're going to play their own Retaliator, and my entire gameplay plan is that my tank is more of a wall than an attacker. I want my back row doing stuff like this multi-sneak team. I don't want him to start stuff. I don't want him retaliating and then getting hit by Thorns and then re-retaliating and re-retaliating. I mean, they're fun to watch, those, explosive, but if you've got the option then to go, I'm just going to scale him back down to before he has retaliate.
Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely. And I think that'd be an extra depth of strategy that all you would need is a user interface tweak to make it happen. But every AMA they go, that's a great idea. We'll put it on the massive pile of great ideas. We're not lacking great ideas. We've just been lacking the staff and the time to get it done. So I'm sure
they're getting shit done. But they are actually working through stuff.
I guarantee you, and play this back to me at some point, but when that gets addressed, Yabba will come up with a solution that is far more elegant than what I've just said, because he's done that for the last 4 years. It'll be more intuitive, more elegant, and it'll somehow bring in extra players. I don't know how, but that guy's an absolute wizard.
Yeah, it's like when I suggested, can we choose between 2 cards? And then you took it next level with, well, whatever your card is, you can choose anything under it. So the difference between my suggestion and your suggestion, and then, if Yabba then takes it, does something beyond that as well.
Because we've paid to go through the levels.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Exactly. And the idea then is that if somebody wants to rent a card, they're going to be more inclined to rent a max version of it,
Or maybe the rentals of that card won't allow you to do that. That's possibly a paid feature. You have to rent the specific level. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well,
I don't know.
I mean, the game throttles the card limits down anyway, right? So the game can do it to you, but you can't do it to yourself. It seems a little bit Seems a little silly, but no, that was a good game. So, Bob, when are you going to share one of your matches, mate? I've just realised that we've done 4 matches so far in these, and they've been 2 of mine and 2 of Gio's. So just throwing that out there. Did you want to?
Yeah,
Do you want to wait for a victory first and then share it?
I picked one for different reasons, and it was just like every now and then, like you just get smashed, like totally smashed, and it's like you go, oh, I got wrecked. But when it happens the other way around, and it's like yes. But I had one recently, and I don't know what the other person was thinking. If you're watching this, please share in the comments. Did you have a plan? It just didn't work out, or were like, did you have 10 seconds left on the timer, or like, I've got no idea, but I felt dirty winning this game. I actually felt dirty. I had to go and have a shower with a scrubbing brush after I won this game. So let's pull this one off.
Let's have a look.
This is the one I chose. And interestingly, I had a lot of trouble with my snipe quest today. I've got 2 bugbears in this game that always bite me. One is chucking the chook on the end when it's a no neutrals quest. And the other is not using a snipe when it's a snipe quest. And I usually I win the game. It's like, yes. And it's like, I didn't play a snipe. And, once the cards are loaded, it's like, I didn't play a snipe. So my snipe quests usually take me 3 times longer than any other one because I keep forgetting. Because like, it's very rare I don't use a sneak card. Very, very rare. But it's not that often that I use a snipe. So, yeah, let's just put this one through, and you'll see like what I mean as far as like the results. And this was a no neutral quest, back to basics. And I love it when you have like the same tank at the beginning, but you do some massive damage first, and then it's all over. So now they're ranged, it doesn't even get a go. Why was there range? It was just like, it was all over before it finished. I was just like, I just felt so dirty. I felt so dirty. But at the same time, it was a snipe quest, and I didn't have a snipe, so that was my
karma. You did have a snipe. Silver Shield Archers is a snipe, yeah, so that would have counted.
Okay.
Hey Bob, how about share another one, since you need to catch up to us, that is less dirty and more like, I don't know, more of a a
nail biter.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the one I was thinking of or not, but I've got one lined up. You guys are ready?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Play it.
All right, so this was a game from recent, and it was like from the onset, like I was using my Ulrich.
Oh yeah.
So I'm limited by my summoner in this one, but I went for the just damage. So +1 to the magics there, and I got quite a defensive earth team there, and some shields. So I always love having stacked magic when I see their shields. It's like, yes, because that can go either way, especially on a weak magic game or something like that. And I've got my pirate captain as my favorite snipe. So I've basically just gone for lots of damage, and with my opportunity card there too, hitting for 3 on their lows. And yeah, the Thorns versus Thorns in the first position. I always love a good, and look at 5 shields for me, 2 shields on the opponent. So that's always like a great start. So any ideas on how this is going to go?
Yeah.
He doesn't have any defense against your magic. You're going to go for his slip spawn because it has taunt. So you're going to hit her hard and fast, especially your Geno Shannis he's very fast. The rule set, I can see everyone has Divine Shield. Is there any other rule set as well, or is it just that one?
Just go that step then. There we go. So double extra shields.
Yeah. Okay. So
Mm.
he's buried. He's got a second tank down there in the Unicorn Mustang that is prepared for magic damage. So I think you would take out the slip spawn and then the Venari Knifer fairly easily. But I do worry that Unicorn Mustang is going to cause you problems while his remaining with that flying deer and the goblin physic. I think they're probably going to cause you some damage. So I would say I wouldn't expect you to win this one. But
All right. Because with
I'm
his
happy
unicorn
to be
note,
wrong.
with the void, I still have my opportunity. But mind you, with the 10, he's not going to be on the opportunities target. So
That-
all right, yeah, let's have a go.
Yeah.
All right, so that's their taunt gone.
At this point, I would definitely give it to him. But again, I'd love to be proved wrong.
Yeah,
You
here
have a lot
comes
of
the
health there,
unicorn
I
now.
suppose.
Yeah,
Yeah, that Unicorn Mustang, because most of your damage is magic at this point, and your one non-magic card is a snipe, right? So he's aiming further back. So that Unicorn's going to be able to take a lot of damage, and he's getting healed up by the Goblin.
the goblin would be a snipe, opportunity target, which is gone now.
Yeah.
And then Regal, is it Regal Payton? That's very quick. Yeah, 5 speed. He's missing, man. Yeah, he's missing.
Yeah. Yep. It was a fair attempt, but
Yeah,
You know what?
that taunt is so powerful because they decide where your entire first round of damage is going to go, right?
mhm.
It's expensive, but they get to decide that. I would have thought with the heavy armor that they would find some way to sneak silence in there. Just to assume that magic would be incoming and sneak
Yeah.
in one silence. Had they done that, it would have been a far more resounding victory than what it was. But
Yeah.
that was a good attempt, and kudos for playing a loss because we weren't expecting that. Normally we look for
Yeah.
wins. It's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I actually thought you were going to win just off of levels alone.
Okay.
You know, you were level. He had a level 4 summoner. And he had a level 1. He was just using level 1 capped out. But sometimes, man, just
Position here, because my whole thinking was extra shields, the +2 shields to go for the magic. So obviously they thought, okay, +2 shields, he's going to play magic. And so void on the unicorn, and the second position, that probably wouldn't have worked if the unicorn was in first position. So yeah, that was
Well, your melee probably would have done more damage to the unicorn had he been in first position. So they were effectively saying, well, let our Venari Knifer and your first position damage each other, take each other out, so that when the unicorn does step in, which is exactly what happened,
full
it
health.
is remaining backfire magic.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with mixing up damage types, right? So you had in that match, you had a bit of melee, you had a bit of ranged, and you had quite a lot of magic. That's fine, but what you've also done is you've diluted what you're targeting, right? So you've one of your cards, your turtle and your magic cards are all targeting their tank, but then you also have a snipe, and then you also have an opportunist who's targeting just whoever happens to be weakest. And so that plays into what I was talking about before with, you want all of their cards, you want half of their cards completely dead and not all of their cards half dead. So you can say, oh, I'm just going to do this, and you're particularly vulnerable, and I do this as well when I'm playing a snipe match, a snipe quest, where I go this, and this, and I need a sniper, click. Instead of making multi-snipe my thing, and then just trying to do what I can to keep the snipes alive, well, I've got 3 snipers or whatever. Instead of that, I'm, and it wasn't immediately obvious that was a problem because all of your guys are attacking his taunt at first.
Yeah.
Because obviously that's what happened. And you see how quickly you wiped out his taunt while all of your guys were pulling in the same direction and attacking that one unit. But once that taunt was gone, then you kind of fell
It's
apart
like a
because everybody's
scattergun.
off doing their own thing. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and that's where I think when they're talking about the new summoners, because obviously there's been a bit of speculation what's going to go on with these new summoners. One that I think would be fascinating would be everybody gets scattershot, which would be very random.
Hey.
But it just means that everybody on the back row is just firing off wherever, like just wherever it happens to hit. And on one hand, you go, well, that would be great if everybody has poison, for example, which is why with the Walker Flame Blade, as a summoner, then you want to try and get some scattershot in there. But then, by the same token, you are really diluting your fire, and I'm not sure that there would really be any advantage to doing that, to picking that summoner, unless you believe that their entire game is going to revolve around playing one big taunt and then supporting him, healing him, cleansing him, speeding him up, giving him more firepower, giving him more armor, all of those things. If you think that that's what they're going to do, then you play the everybody gets scattershot summoner, which I think would be fascinating. But if they're not going to do that, and they've just got all of their cards, reasonably well armored, and they're all attacking one of yours at a time, then you are right up the creek. And that's good, right? Because that's kind of what you want, is if you correctly anticipate what they're doing and you pick the right counter, then you win, and that's good for the game. So I've been thinking about, I would love to see a scattershot summoner.
So does a scattershot, is it still required to go for taunt, or can a scatter avoid taunt?
It doesn't. It pays no attention. So
Okay.
Taunt attracts all targeted attacks, but scattershot is not a targeted attack.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's probably the best way to think about it. You're not aiming at all. So taunt means everybody who's aiming is aiming for me. Scattershot is I'm not even aiming. I'm just just firing off into the air, and I'm hitting one of you every time. So I'd love to see a scattershot summoner. I think that would really mix
That'd be interesting.
We'll
Absolutely.
Or that makes your opponent have scattershot on all cards.
Oh wow. Not even sure how that would work. They would have to override all of their things like opportunity, sneak, snipe. I think that'd be okay.
If you've got a -1 or a -1 on the enemy, it does the same thing, doesn't it? It has to it adjusts all of their cards. It would be doable.
It'd probably be broken, but that would be funny. Imagine just transforming everyone.
But how would you feel after putting your team together and then finding out scatter? What?
They would just do their own thing. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I think. Well, you know what? We don't know in maths how scattershot, if you were to use multiple cards, would actually work, because we only have a few examples.
I think I got two scatter cards, one in life and.
I mean, have you ever played Have you ever played scattershot in the same team formation, like 3 of them?
I've only got two scatters, one in 2 different suits, so I haven't been able to.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can do multiple scattershot. One thing I've found is I have Gem Meteor. I grabbed him to play with Walker Flame Blade, and then I just put both my Walkers up on the rental market and didn't play with them. But I do occasionally use him, and one thing I love is that because he'll so often hit a support card, Pierce really helps a lot, right? Because so often there'll be a support card that has 1 armor and 2 health, or 2 health and 2 armor and 1 health, or so, combined. So when you just randomly hit him out of the blue, but you're doing 4 or 5 damage and you've got Pierce, then bam, that's 1 just completely gone out of the blue. And it's normally something that the guy's expecting. If it's an opportunist, they might hit him and take off his armor, right? If it's a poison opportunity, maybe they will hit him and poison him, and you won't have him next round. But to instantly lose him like that because a scattershot card just happened to hit him, strike his armor, kill his armor, kill him and just straight away dead. There's something really shocking about that, because there's nothing you could have done about it.
Especially if it was a Dr. Blight.
Yeah, exactly. Scattershot will attract. Yeah, scattershot will hit camouflage as well. So, so that's. And Dr. Blight could be taken out early with something like that, because, and so that's where you see the bedlam that would happen if we had a scattershot summoner. I'd love, But again, if if you dilute your firepower too much, then
Exactly.
there'll be people who play a team and they see that you've played Scattershot Summoner and go, "Oh, this is great. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
All of my guys are going to be alive for the next 3
Yeah.
rounds because they just can't. They're not focusing anywhere.
Yeah.
Unless the
and
stars
there's not going to be
align.
3 rounds because I'm going to kill him in 2.
There actually is one way to get 2 scatter shots on board. I believe it's to drag. So you have to use dragon,
Yep.
and I believe chaos dragon.
Yep.
And
then Gem Meteor is a neutral.
oh yeah, that as a neutral and the life
Yes.
card.
You could get
And the
3 then.
life, you can get
If
3. So
dragon-
you could probably
Dragon
test
Dragon
it.
scatter, you've selected suit scatter and a neutral scatter.
Yeah.
Ooh,
There is a portal spinner. So if you can use dragon, you can. I think you can get 3 scatter shots. It would
Yeah.
be just something to try out. I think
Yeah,
more so
absolutely.
just to have fun.
but
But
on
again, if
scatter,
it's one of those,
I said
if
we've
it's one of those
actually
metas where, sorry, if it's one of those metas where they're going to use a taunt, right? And they're going to use Shield Bearer up front. It's a no magic match or something like that. They're going to use Shield Bearer and they've got 3 repair cards and 2 heals and whatever.
Right.
That's when you would really want to use 3 scatter shots, right? Because then you're
Yeah.
just going to whack supports over and over until they're dead, and then you got Shield Bearer by
Yeah,
himself with no support.
sure.
So
yeah. So we've got less than 2 minutes on the Doom clock. So one thing we just wanted to cover, like as we mentioned previously, we're doing some themes through the episodes. So tonight we did some battle assessment. Send us your links if you see what we did with each other's videos. If you'd like us to do that with your battles, send us the links and we'll discuss them. Also, if you want to be a guest on the show, we do have a guest coming on pretty soon from our Hive Australia community, going to be talking about guilds. And in particular, Gio and myself, we're in a guild called the Drop Bears. And if you're not familiar with this Australian culture, the drop bear, it's one of our native animals. It just drops from trees, wraps itself around your neck, goes straight for the jugular. Warning signs, obviously, if you walk through the woods. So I'll pop up an image here of the drop bear. So the Drop Bears is our guild, and we are going to have our first brawl coming up in a couple of days. Matt, I was hoping to ask you a bit about brawls, but we'll do that in another episode. It's running out of time. So we've got a guest coming on to talk about guilds. And if you'd like to come on the show, talk about anything you like, Splinterlands related, pop us a comment below. And we'd love to have you as a guest on the show. Any wrapping up words, guys?
Fun episode. It's good seeing you guys again.
It went so quick tonight. It went so
Oh
quick
yeah,
tonight.
the second half especially.
Yeah.
What the
lots to be
hell?
excited about. I'm enthused after the town hall, and I
Yeah.
look forward to seeing our guest next week, and we can talk about guilds. So I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. All right, so there you go, another episode. Please like, comment, share, comment especially. One viewer every week wins 10% of the poster rewards for generating the comment that gets the most engagement. I'm Boba Fett. Peace out.